Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
Yeah, no, everybody loves bluffs and four-bet pots, so let's do that.
So is this a two? This is 2-5?
This is 2-5.
Okay.
So 2-5,
Uh-huh.
1,000 effective, and the villain is definitely a professional poker player.
Definitely a professional
That's
poker
for sure.
player. Okay.
He's one of these guys who has no job, so
Okay.
I'll call him a professional
Right.
poker player.
Right.
So it folds all the way around to the button.
Okay. Fold to
He
button.
opens to 15.
Okay.
I am in the small blind with Jack 10 of diamonds, and I 3-bet to 65. I generally play 3-better folds, at least against people who I perceive to be competent when it's late versus the small blind.
To 65 to like just over 4x, right?
Yeah, I probably should have thrown an extra blind or two in there.
I think that's fine.
Small mistake.
Uh-huh.
In any event, he relatively quickly 4-bets to 150.
So already you're saying
And,
that you think he's like something might be going on here, per se.
Well, I think that he understands that we're both supposed to be wide here.
Uh-huh.
You know, 5-betting is crazy. Folding seems just too weak with a pretty strong suited Broadway.
Well,
getting a pretty good price.
He hasn't even made it 3x. Yeah, he hasn't even made it 3x. I mean, you have to call.
Yeah, 2.5x.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have to call.
No. I mean,
5-betting is
the times that you wouldn't call here and occasionally run into it are just guys that just always have aces when they 4-bet, aces or kings, which you will find sometimes, but which I've seen. But
yeah, he was like 1,000 years old.
Right.
They tend not to make it 150 anyway. They tend to make it like $1
$300.
million.
Right.
Yeah. Like fuck it. Like I don't want to get called. I just want to win.
Right.
So I call.
Mm-hmm.
Not much else to do. We get a reasonably good flop for Jack 10. It's King 9, 3. I think it's a brick.
King 9-3 rainbow.
Yeah.
With a one diamond.
King 9-3 rainbow with one diamond. So we've got a gut shot and some backdoor possibilities.
All right, I'm gonna put the 3 of diamonds
So I
out
check.
here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So I check, as I would do with 100% of my hands, and he bets 75.
Okay, so
which is,
check.
I assume,
75. 75, so obviously really small, right? 75 into 300.
Yeah, so I assume that he's range betting or something like that.
Well, I mean,
It's the only inference I could draw from a $75 bet.
he's probably, I would assume that he can bet much larger than that on a King 9-3 board if he's the 4-better preflop. It's not like 6, 7, 8. No, I know, and people are just these guys don't understand like what the different sizings are. But obviously, you're gonna call. You know what I mean? And I mean the thing is that you might. All right. Well, since you had already told me, we'll move on. We'll talk about the turn. So you make the call.
Yes, I toyed with raising. I think raising is definitely part of the strategy if you want to defeat these small bets. But I don't think this hand fits super well into that right at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still something I'm thinking about how exactly to do. So in any event, we get a pretty good turn. We get a 7 that puts out a backdoor flush draw.
Yep.
But not ours. It's 2 hearts.
Sorry, 2 hearts. Okay.
So I check again.
So you turn a double gutter now, right? It's King 9-3
Yeah,
7.
I turn a double gutter to an 8 and queen.
Right.
So I check again.
Yep.
And he bets 200. Now, this is a difficult situation.
Uh-huh.
Because I have a lot of equity, but I can't really call.
Right.
Because I'll be first to act with a hand that has no showdown value.
Right.
If I brick.
Unless you hit a pair.
Unless I hit a pair or something, or I make my draw. Folding seems too weak, so that leaves the remaining option of check raise all in.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. So there are times when this would be absolutely awful, and then there are times that this would be okay. And I think that this might be one of these times where it's okay, because this whole dynamic sounds like guys that are. Here's the thing, like people that will let's say that he 4-bets small blind versus button at 1K effective with like queens plus and ace king. That's it, right?
Right.
but he's got way more 4-bet bluffs than he should be, right? Because he's like dick waving, or he thinks he's like a 2-5 player, whatever. And then it's followed up by bet with this sizing. Well, now you throw queens out, right? So it's ace king.
Because that doesn't make any sense.
It's ace king, kings, and aces. None of those hands are gonna fold, most likely, if you do check raise. But the question is he messy? And does he have too many bluffs here?
Does he have too many 4-5 suited, 8-5 suited, whatever?
Yeah, whatever. And now he's like, I'm going to double barrel a disconnected card. It sounds to me like it's probably okay, but just don't do this as a normal thing against a normal 4-betting range at 2-5 is what, because I've played sloppy.
Against a normal 4-betting range, I probably would have folded.
Right.
Oh, you have aces again.
Right. So I'm assuming you check jammed then, right?
Yeah, I check jam. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I think this guy's just getting out of line.
Right.
So I jam it in.
Yeah.
And he does not immediately call, which I find to be interesting.
Uh-huh.
So he tanks for a while. He gets a count on my stack.
By the way, the other thing too about this is that, I mean, again, it depends on how much you want to go down this rabbit hole, but you don't have hearts, which means that there's more of a chance that he has a heart in his hand, which is bad for him, supposedly, but I can't give this guy that credit. So he calls.
Well, interesting that you should mention it. So he calls.
Yeah. What do you have, queen? Did he have like queen with a heart, or king with a heart or something?
Oh, no. Oh, so much worse than that. He calls. I table my hand for jack high, like it runs out of low brick, and he tables ace-9 offsuit with the 9 of hearts.
What was the river?
Like an offsuit 5 or something.
Oh, so you missed. Yeah.
And he wins with a pair of 9s.
So the river was a brick, and
the river was a brick, and he tabled ace-9 off.
With the ace of hearts or the 9 of hearts?
With the 9 of hearts.
With the 9 of hearts, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's sort of strange. But I guess his hand.
I don't know what the turn bet was about.
Yeah, I mean, his hand.
The turn call I sort of understand because he blocks 9.
Right, he blocks 9s and he blocks ace king. So.
Right.
But then you have to sort of revert back to like, yeah, but how often is somebody check jamming in a 4-bet pot? And, unless you're a total spaz, like the occasional hands that you have, like that are draws, actually still have decent equity against him too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the bottom of my range is an open-ended straight draw with 2 overcards to his pair.
Yeah.
And like the top of it is like a set that has him dead.
Yeah.
Kind of a questionable call.
See, again,
but it's also questionable to bet middle pair.
Again, I think that people, and some people that comment on sort of, I don't know if this is going to make a video, it might, but people take this stuff way too far. They're thinking ahead on a level when somebody might say, "Oh, this was a bad play because you're only representing 9s." It could be against a player like this if he understands that, but most of the people you're winning money from have no clue about what you're representing.
Right.
And the entire thing is just an exploit because they're based upon their own hand. So like somebody, I had made a social media Instagram post a couple days ago talking about attacking the field better on dynamic boards, and somebody said, "Oh, that's terrible advice. When you attack the field better on a dynamic board, you look like you're full of shit." But for 90% of the people that you're playing against at a $5 blind level on a 9-deuce-3 board, they're not thinking about what I'm representing and are going to hold on for a 200 big blind pot with 7-9 suited on a queen and a king run out. You know what I mean? Like, it's their absolute value of their hand. So
right,
that is strange.
And you can go this way of saying like, well, if he understands that all I'm representing is 9s and he's a 9, that's a great blocker. But if he understands that, why is he double barreling middle pair in a 4-bet pot?
Well,
if he calls, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he probably shouldn't. I mean, I guess he could bet small again for protection against some of your sort of suited broadways. You know what I mean? I don't know about the sizing is sort of odd. But obviously he's out of line, right, with his 4-bet.
Selection pre also.
Yeah. Obviously he's out of line in his 4-bet, but
it's a button. Why don't we click it?
Right. Thanks for the call, Jesse. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.